Hello everybody, this is Kristen with Wuthering Reader coming in again to finish up my March wrap-up. The first half got a little away with me as it just ended up being me reviewing one book, so today we're going to talk about everything else I read. As you guys know, I participated in the Marching Mammoths readathon, which was really fun. A point of that was every book you read was to be over 800 pages to get rid of all of your tomes on your TBR. We're going to be talking about 3 books that I read in this video. Only 2 of them were part of the Marching Mammoths. The other one I read with my book club. After reading A Little Life, I read The Brothers Karamazov, and if you guys want my feelings on A Little Life, you can find the last video somewhere, probably in the suggestions. But Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky, this was a 5-star read for me. I absolutely loved everything in it. The philosophy, the characters, the mystery, everything was just way too perfect for me. And it's one of those lasting books. I have been thinking about it nonstop since I've read it, and I just really adored the characters. I really adored all the existential crises in the book. It was funny too. I didn't expect it to be. There was a lot of drama that I was just eating up. It was also very depressing at times, as you know, tomes are gonna have a lot of different emotions. This book basically follows 4 brothers and their relationship with their dad, their relationship with religion, their relationship with themselves. This was Fyodor Dostoevsky's dying work, so he wanted to get as much philosophy in there as possible, and it really shows. Definitely recommended. One of my favorite classics. Definitely my favorite Dostoevsky now, so. I actually have a more in-depth review. I feel like I said a lot on it in one of my vlogging videos dealing with Marching Mammoths. You can also find that on my channel if you want to see me with horrible allergies trying to rant about a book. The last Marching Mammoths book that I read was, I honestly still don't know what to think about it. That was the first book in the Familiar series by Mark Z. Danielski. This one's called One Rainy Day in May. As you guys know, he wrote House of Leaves, which I already had kind of mixed feelings about, but ended up really liking. This one, I have mixed feelings about that I really ended up not liking. This book follows 9 different people. I heard he was going to be making this into a 27-book series, but it kind of got put on hold after the 5th book was written. So as far as I know, there's not going to be a conclusion on it. I didn't know this before reading, otherwise I don't think I would have bothered. But this book's lead plot, while following 9 different perspectives, talks about a girl and her father getting a dog, but getting a cat instead. And then the book kind of ends. Of course, knowing Mark Z. Danielski, it's way more complicated than that. There's a lot of history with the family and a lot of problems going into it that'll definitely have to be resolved within the series. Like I said, don't know if that's gonna happen. I heard that 1 through 5 do make a complete stories, because he was wanting to think of the chunks of the books in seasons, like a TV show, and then 1 through 5 is supposed to be the first season. So this is a series I may continue. Don't know yet. The other perspectives I didn't care as much about. I thought for a lot of Mark Z. Danielski's stuff, he wrote to be complicated, wrote to be pretentious. This book kind of solidified that opinion for me. That doesn't mean I still don't love his stuff. He's incredibly gritty and very needlessly complicated, which, it's weird. I don't think I like it, but I can't stop reading it, if that makes sense. And I'm still tempted to buy another book. There's something about the heaviness and like just the weirdness of it that makes it feel like it's going to be important. Much like House of Leaves was. I think that one was very cool. So there also weren't any real horror aspects in this book, although it's marketed as a horror series. I was maybe halfway through the book and I still had no idea what it was about other than just following different people. There's really no connection to them. There's like slight ones that are beginning to show. So honestly, I don't really feel like I can give this book a rating because I feel like it's not finished. And it's not. It's part of a series, but like I still feel like each book in there has to make some coherent sense and not be complicated for the sake of being complicated. That's where I'm just a little annoyed with the author because like I understood it. Like I understood all the plot lines. Some of them were written very needlessly complicated. Like a lot of it was broken English or like really like exaggerated thug talk or the cringingly exaggerated tween talk, and that's what I really hated the most. Anytime they switched to the lead girl's perspective, I was just rolling my eyes. I'm like, girls don't talk like this. Tween girls don't talk like this. If they do, this isn't a world I want to be living in. And it's just all these annoying pop culture references and like, ugh. Anyways, the Familiar series, if you want to give it a shot. If you have any thoughts or opinions on this that I am just missing for some reason, please let me. Did I give it stars? I don't even remember. Character was good whenever they delved into character. Plot was a mess, but it's supposed to be. Importance, no idea yet. Emotion, none, other than confusion and eye rolling. Last book I read for the month of March was also one that people were saying was needlessly complicated, but I didn't see it that way, and I absolutely loved it, and that was Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I read this with my book club. I was the only person to finish it, and I absolutely loved it. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure that this one did get 5 stars from me, maybe 4. I'm gonna have to relook at my rating again. As you can see, I'm doing this entire video on the fly. Plot was excellent. It followed Tracker, who you don't actually know his name, and then his in and out friend called Leopard, who is a shape-shifting leopard who turns into a man. And they have had a very rich history together of a big love-hate thing. It's all just sexual tension, I think. They just really want to bang and they're not banging. And I think that is where most of their conflict derives from. But that's okay. That's okay. Him and a group of other mercenaries and such go to find a lost kid who is involved in a huge political kerfuffle. There are a lot of really interesting politics within this book. I'm not going to give too much away without getting spoilery. But with that, I do have to say the plot is excellent. It keeps you guessing what's going on till the last chapter. I was really enjoying it. I was really enjoying just the language of the book. Marlon James writes with such a poet's voice. It's gorgeous. Maybe a bit hard to understand at points, but it's one of those slow read books. But I really enjoyed his voice. It worked so well with the fantastical aspect of it and just the grittiness. Honestly, this was the most sexual and violent book I have ever read. And that's really saying something. I have read a lot, guys. But it worked so well with the world. It just gave it so much grit and grossness, and I loved it. Characters I thought were really well done, especially the lead. You get to see a lot of growth and diminishment in his character and in his views on things. All of the fantastical creatures, monsters, all that stuff were really well written too. I loved the lore more than anything. I just loved the setting and all of the weird creatures and forests and different villages' takes on different things. That was all incredibly intriguing to me. I'm really looking forward to getting more into this world and just more into this writer in general. But anyways, guys, Black Leopard, Red Wolf, awesome fantasy read. Read it slowly and expect a lot. Hope you guys all have a great week. Enjoy this weather. It has been so nice outside. Spring has sprung, children. Excellent time to hole yourself inside your house and read. All right. Love you all. Have a great week. Later, taters.